This is the pivot where we talk about topics that are central to our game. Joining us today are two incredible women, one being ESPN basketball analyst, LaChina Robinson. You've been working, you've been grinding. I can't wait to talk to you. And the other one being professional basketball player and author, Kayla Alexander, who's fresh from overseas. I'm excited about this one, guys. So I want to jump right on into it. LaChina, you not only cover basketball, but you're also a former player yourself at Wake Forest. Let's talk about Title IX. You know, I know, Kayla, you also played at Syracuse, so this directly applies to you too and what you experienced in your time. But June 23rd marks the 50th anniversary of Title IX. How far has the quest for equality in our game come?
Well, first of all, Savanna, thank you so much for having me. And it's truly an honor to be with Kayla. I am a huge fan. I have been since she stepped foot on Syracuse. I knew she was going to break all these records and be a great player, but I know how much of an ambassador she is for Canada, for the game of basketball, for creative. So I'm just excited to be here with her. You know, honestly, Title IX for me was a game changer. You know, I was a little girl that grew up not really knowing what I wanted to do in life, but knowing that I wanted to go to college and really didn't have the means to do that, right? And so when I was 14, I was probably about 6'4" and did not play basketball at that time, but there was a gentleman that kept coming back to my house and asking my mom, you know, she should play basketball. She's tall, she should play. And he said a few magical words that changed everything for me. He said, "Do you know that she could get a free education?" And after that, my mother was sold. And she dropped me off at practice and never came to get me. But long story short, Title IX started as a legislation that was put in place for education. It didn't even mention sport in any way. And so for me, Title IX went back to the origin of the law because it provided a way for me to get a free education. Quite honestly, it was through the sport of basketball. And if I wouldn't have had the opportunity to play because of Title IX, then I wouldn't have been able to go on to college to play. And everything that I do now, as I know you women are so passionate about the growth of women's sports, everything I do goes back to how can we get more opportunities, more visibility for women in sport, equal pay. To me, Title IX gave us opportunity, and now we have to work on Title IX giving us equality.
Kayla?
Okay, well, first, I want to give a shout out to LaChina because she's doing big things as well, and you inspire me. And the thing that I love about you is that it's always bigger than basketball. I'm thankful for Title IX because it allowed me, a Canadian who's not even a US citizen, the opportunity to come to the USA to get that opportunity. And like LaChina said, it's opportunity. That's the big thing that I have to highlight here about one of the things I wanted to mention when it came to Title IX is that it's so much bigger than sports. Like that's the pathway that creates all these other opportunities for us. So thanks to basketball, in my case, that allowed me to get, like I said, a free education. It also taught me so many valuable life skills that I'm still using to this day, from time management to teamwork to communication, leadership skills. And furthermore, like the opportunities that go beyond the court, like the opportunities for networking and meeting new people in different situations, the career path opportunities that provided. If it wasn't for Title IX, I wouldn't have these opportunities that I have today. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Title IX.
One thing that really stands out to me is that there's so many trailblazers. I think about, we still see, athletes like Sedona pointing out back in 2020 in March Madness, hey, this weight room doesn't look anything like the men's weight room. What's up with that? And that going viral. And then we see, pay gaps within women's professional basketball to men's professional basketball. So there's still a long road of equality up ahead for us. Where are we? LaChina, I'll start with you.
Title IX doesn't mention race. It does mention gender, but Title IX has really not helped girls and women of color as much as we would have hoped. And a couple of examples of that, when you look at little black and brown girls in underserved communities, numbers show that they don't have the equipment that they need for participation. They don't have access to sport. A lot of times they don't even, have monies to participate, or sometimes there's issues at home with like childcare, and so they can't go and play. So there's a whole list of things and reasons, why they don't have the access. But what happens from that is, when they're not introduced to sport, they even because of things like not having a sports bra, it's crazy the things that are keeping girls inactive. But anyway, when you look at that, what happens is then they don't have the opportunity to the access to education the way that Kayla and I did, right?
Kayla, I would love to hear your thoughts of where you have seen it, and not just in necessarily in the school system, but also in professional as well. I'm willing to talk about that.
With respect to professionalism, the professional game, I think it flows into one another. So for example, when they create opportunities for young girls to play and get scholarships to play basketball, look at the media coverage that's been, when you pour in the media coverage to the game, look how popular it's become. People love tuning in and watching women's college basketball. Now we need to have that same investment, seeing people willing to invest into the women's game at the professional level. Once people are willing to put the investment in and actually provide the equal opportunities, the game grows. And people, if you put it out there, put out a great product and put it out there for people to see, people will come, people will enjoy it, and it will grow. So I think it's just about continuing to do the groundwork, trying to get past all these wage gaps, these the media coverage, the lack there, the stereotypes. If we can get past all this and continue to grow in the right direction, the future is going to be bright.
Absolutely, 100%. Invest in women's sports. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on The Pivot. Have a good one, guys.